Want to be smarter? Want to be fitter? Want to be wealthier? Want to be better? This is Infinite Transcendence, where life mastery meets humor and sarcasm with a blunt approach. This is the place where we talk about mastering your life without the usual feel-good aspect. This is the podcast designed for people who want useful tips and information while being entertained. So sit back and enjoy the program.
Hello again and welcome to Infinite Transcendence. This is the second part of this week's series. This one's going to be more on something that happened to me personally, just some personal updates. It's a very crazy week with a lot of growth, some new things going on. One, in the state I'm in, it's been raining a lot, been storming a lot in the southeast. I'm in Georgia, so it's been just constantly storming. Just been raining like almost, not every day, but like 5 days a week or so, all summer long. So it's been one of those crazy weeks or years we haven't had since like 2013. Which completely threw a lot of my errands completely off track. So it threw some, if you notice some of my videos and updates hadn't been coming in at the same rate, that was why, because the internet and also the storming caused the internet to go down a lot. So it was constantly shutting down the internet at home to the point I had to get up and go to the library just to start getting work done and do some typing and do some things like that. So it really changed my flow of work. So and also I've been on the road a lot, doing a lot of errands, getting this, getting that, picking up some things. I get some funny stories there. Yeah, I had to get some shoes. I was walking around. One thing I had to do was get some shoes. I was walking around or get some heels on my shoes. I walk around with dress shoes, and occasionally I had to replace the heel on the back because they start to slip and slide. Like I walked out on hardwood floor, and I just slipped. So I almost fell and broke my behind on that. So I had to take them up there and get that done. I had to get some new sneakers. I haven't bought sneakers in like 10 years, so I almost never dressed in casual clothing. Went up there, I found some of those. So that's another thing I did with the rain and storming and everything like that. It was just funny because I was talking to my friend about it. I was like, I've not bought these shoes in like 10 years. The last shoes I bought were some FUBU shoes. So I was like way behind on shoes and like the current trends. So I found some great shoes, look like Jordans. They're just Nike. So I don't even know the latest brands or anything. They were friends laughing at me. He's like, what's big right now is a Nike Huarache. I'm like, what's a Huarache? See, I don't even know. So I bought something. I bought in like the clearance section. It was like $40 at Shoe Carnival for some nice, it was a red and black pair of Nikes. The shoes to me now seem like they're more foamy. They have a different foamy type of look and feel to them. So they all seem the same to me now. But and on top of that, I had to get some suits done and some things dry cleaned. I was out running around, out in the storm. It made me reschedule a lot of work I had to get done. It made me have to go out and just change the days and change the times. I had to hire some people to do certain things. That was also all off base. But one thing I did do that was interesting growth-wise is I'm going out on Pinterest. I'm still exploring different social media venues and different social media channels. And I'm seeing what I like and what I don't like. So I have Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, of course. I have Google+. I'm using Quora to get some answers. I do question and answer on there. I answer questions that way. I do that as well. And I might get a LinkedIn, but I'm not trying to do everything at once. You're supposed to find the 80-20 and do what works the best. And I do Quora. That works really well. So what I'm doing now is Pinterest. And I knew about Pinterest some years ago I knew about Pinterest some years ago because I had a customer that used it. And I've seen it, but of course, I'm sure like most people think, to me it seemed like it was like for chicks. It's like mostly wedding dresses and recipes on there. I thought, look at it, like, and she was a chick. She's a woman, a chick, but she had a lot of just dresses and things. I was like, I'm going to try it out. I read a lot about how Pinterest is great for business and that it can really skyrocket your business growth. And what I did is I hired somebody to set up me a profile to kind of get me started. With me, when I'm starting something new, I was kind of edge into it to get a feel for it. I started thinking about it a lot, but now I've been going on there. I haven't done a lot. I did some repinning. I got one follower. I haven't done a ton on there, but I have about 80, 90 pins and like one follower, but the pins were mostly made by somebody else who set up my profile. So I'm going to be on there, so definitely check that out. That's one thing I'm going to be doing in terms of Pinterest is that. But the reason I've been up on that as much is because I got to do my video. I got to do every week. I got to do my three videos. I got to do my blog posts, which I release through the week. I generally do it at the beginning, like on Sunday or something, and then I release those through the week. And then I got to do my advertising. I got my other business to run, but what I need to do is I've been re-editing my old blog posts, and I've been changing the way they've been written. I've been doing now that I found my writing style. I think one thing about Quora, what it allowed me to do was it allowed me to find my writing style with the blog, what people respond to the best. And I found a lot of things I saw early on. Now I see like people have like numbers, like the 5 ways to do this and the 10 ways to do that. And I see why they do it. because it's easy to read and it catches people's attention. Having those numbers in the front, I look at my blog posts, I see the blog posts have a lot of hits on them, or ones with numbers on the front. I think it's because people, like me, I tend to think I'm more of a logical reader and buyer. Like, I like to read things in more of a overall theoretical way. Like, for me, I might say how to fix your life or how to fix your diet. And to me, I like reading it in an open-ended way, but most people like to read it in terms of 5 ways to fix your diet, or 6 ways to get in better shape, or 7 ways to make your gym better. So that's one thing I've been doing, is I've been going down and numbering and re-editing a lot of my old posts and adding content. And like for my older posts, it's a lot more work because I was experimenting with my writing style back then. And a lot of my posts are really short. I had short posts and long posts. I was kind of seeing what I wanted to do to see what style would fit me best. Now that I've gotten my style down, I'm now going through all my old posts and editing them again. So hopefully I'll be done with that by the end of the day. I'm still in the earlier part of it, but towards the end, it should take me less time because my newer posts are more like my current writing style. So all I do with that is just do some numbers on there. So I'm going to re-edit that. I'm going to do whatever I can to try to keep the conversions coming. I'm getting more views. I'm getting more and more views, but I want to keep people staying and keep them coming back for more, and keep them so they, come and then they stay and then they want to subscribe and things like that. So they don't just come and then go. So I'm trying to do things like that to keep more views in. And another thing I mentioned the core and I mentioned the editing on top of that. Otherwise, I had a lot of business to take care of, and I took care of my business and took care of all of that. But I've been doing the editing. There was one more thing I was going to mention. Yeah, and also, I'm doing work on an ebook too. We do some edits in the ebook as well. I'm going to repurpose that and have that format up. But also definitely check that out and pick that up. I changed my formatting on the site as well on how I do things with it. But I think that was pretty much it. And I know what I was going to mention. Last week I was talking about the olive oil, and this is my update with that. So I found out what the problem was. The olive oil was causing a bunch of cystic acne. I know what that is, but I just wasn't sure because what I was getting in my face were like patches, like red spots. They weren't kind of like, your typical pimples or bumps where they get hardened and they just kind of fall off, which is what I normally get. But these were, I guess, from all the excess oil, and I guess a breakout caused it to form into patches, which just lingered and stayed and stayed and stayed. And I just didn't until I started researching and looking like, now I see the problem. If you look at my video this week, you can see I've started to clear up. Not completely, but you see the top of my forehead is better, and the bottom is starting. I still have some breakout at the bottom. I'm starting to slowly clear up. My skin's starting to feel smoother because I figured out what was causing it. See, knowing is half the battle. So then what I did was I looked at some doctor stuff, looked at some checkups, and I almost never go to the doctor. What I started doing is I looked up salicylic acid. And what this is it's like a gel, and it's basically, it covers up your skin. And it covers up your skin. It dries, it kind of hardens, but what it allows it to do is it penetrates the cyst and the bump where the skin is like, or is inflamed and red, and then the stuff is underneath, because a cyst is very deep forming. It's not like your typical pimple. It forms very deep. So it forms in and it covers that up, and it like breaks into it, so you get the fluid, it gets oxygen in there and breathing, so it dries up and falls off. And that's a problem I was having, was it was just my pores were too clogged from all the olive oil I was putting on my face. So now that I figured that out, I've been using it a few days, and most people say it burns them really badly and it's rough on them. For me, it caused me no problem. I guess I have pretty tough skin. I have oily skin, but it took me a while to even have the break. It took me months before I started even breaking out like that. So I've seen some improvements. I use it twice a day, and then I changed my diet a bit. I started adding more meat in the morning. I'll add turkey, like a turkey type meat in the morning, like a patty. But I took out the eggs. I was eating egg whites. I know eggs are another major allergen for people. And I found that I would get headaches in the morning. I know eggs are a migraine trigger for people, but I couldn't quite figure out what was causing it. Because I had eggs and turkey bacon. I took the turkey bacon out, but I would still occasionally get a headache in the morning. Like, I would wake up perfectly clear and happy, and then I would eat my eggs, which I would eat every day, and I would eat a lot of eggs. Like, I buy egg whites, which are not only that, egg whites are expensive. Like, that's my most expensive food I buy. I spend $3 if you buy the store brand, $3.50 per carton, and I eat a carton a day, which it sounds like a lot, but it's easy to go through because it has no fat in it. So I would eat these egg whites, and there's no fat, so I wouldn't get full for long. Like, I'd eat them, and then I'd be hungry in an hour, even though I ate the whole container. And then on top, I had the oatmeal too, and it would give me these headaches occasionally. Like, I couldn't figure out what's causing the headaches, but now I read about it being a migraine trigger. I was like, I'm trying to take the egg whites out of my diet. So any possible allergen trigger I've taken out of my diet, and I've been replacing with other meat. Now I'm trying to eat turkey meat instead, and I've noticed I'm gonna try. I took the eggs on my diet like a day or two ago, so it hasn't been long, but I will see through the week how it turns out in my progress. And if I've eaten eggs for years, I haven't had any major problems with it, to my knowledge, other than the headaches. And it may have caused some breaking out, but it hasn't. I don't know if it could have led to this breakout. It might have been a catalyst, over time things can lead to more breakouts, but I've been eating them for years. I eat the whites, and the whites are fortified, but the whites don't have as much nutritional value as the yolk, but these are fortified. And these aren't, people who do eat eggs, one thing they recommend is eat the free-range chicken, or the chicken that doesn't eat the grain-fed chicken, because those chickens are highly inflammatory and have a lot of omega-6. You want to keep your omega-6 and your omega-3 balanced. And I eat a lot of fish already for my omega-3. So that's one thing I'm going to try to do as well. So that's my update on that. And you see my skin is starting to clear up. If you see the video compared to the week before, I don't have as much acne at the top of my head, and my skin is smoother. It just has a clear up at the bottom. I think in a week or two, I'm going to start seeing a much bigger difference, which is good because I want the skin to be clear like it was. So I just want to give an update on that as well. So that's just a current how this week has been for me. Kind of giving you a piece of what goes on in my life, making myself more relatable so you can get a feel of what goes on with me and what I do. I got some more suits. You've probably seen me wearing some of those as well. But these are just minor updates, just fun stuff, humorous stuff, just interesting things about me that tells you about me so you get to know more about me. But you have any comments on anything I did or any of the content, or maybe you wonder why some content has been, I haven't updated my Twitter and Facebook in a few days. That's why, because all the internet shortages plus all the other things I had to do, I haven't had time. So, let me know what you think about that, or the skin update, if that's interesting to you too. And anything else you want to know about, of course, like, subscribe, and transcend infinitely.
Want more? Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment the video and subscribe to the podcast. Want even more? Check out the written article version and subscribe to the Infinite Transcendence website at infinitetranscendence.com for new and interesting quality content. Join now and receive a special gift. Also like our Facebook at Infinite Transcendence and follow us on Twitter at transcend_world. Keep watching and listening. See you next time and transcend infinitely.